Now, the worst of Storm Ciarán may be over, but there's always a but. The Met Office has warned we won't be seeing blue skies this weekend. Extreme weather looks set to continue with yellow warnings for rain stretching across the south coast of England. Hey, bonfire weekend. Now, joining me now is weather journalist Nathan Rao to explain what's going on and when we'll next see some sunshine. Nathan.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, thank you. I was going to say good morning. I'm completely glued.
I love the way that you've said, and there's more bad weather to come, and it just happens to be, and I am.
Here you are to tell me all about it. Right, so what's happening with the weather?
Thankfully, we're not expecting to see anything like we've seen over the past few days with Storm Ciarán. That has passed now. There is, as you mentioned, another warning for rain across the southern flank of the UK, and that runs until midnight tonight. So if you're in that warning area and you're having bonfire parties tonight, that's one to watch. But thankfully, it's sort of a more unsettled, mixed picture going forward into the weekend, a bit clearer to tomorrow. But it's been an extraordinary week of weather, a couple of weeks of weather with these storms that we keep getting coming into the UK.
How unusual are these storms? I mean, I remember winter storms, these things happen, but are they genuinely more dramatic, or are we making more of it?
Right, really good question, because these storms are not unusual for time of year. We are in storm season after all, and these are low pressure systems which come in off the Atlantic and into the UK, and they cause storms. What was very unusual about this storm, and I remember last week I was on your show and I said I suspect we might get Storm Ciarán this week, and it was just a glimmer of a storm on the weather models.
Yes.
Very, very rapidly on Wednesday night into Thursday, this storm intensified, and what happened, it moved over the jet stream into a cold region of air in the United States, and that gave it a boost of energy, and then it moved across the Atlantic, and that's why we saw it. It was an explosive cyclogenesis, very rapid deepening, and that's why it was such a surprise to some people.
And Theresa Coffey saying it was the wrong kind of rain, it was coming from the wrong direction.
Yes, that was quite strange. Yeah, that was the week before. This actually came in from the west. Now, Theresa Coffey said that if the rain comes in from the east, we're not prepared for it. I think be it from the west or be it from the east, if you get enough of it, we're going to get flooding. So I don't really know what that meant. This one came in for the west, and that's really where our unsettled weather comes in from. OK,
do we have another one on the way?
There is no named storm on the way. The next one would be Debbie. It's not there yet, but as will be Debbie, D-E-B-I for Debbie, yes.
Who named that one?
These are, you have to take that up with the Met Office and Met Éireann, who name our storms. But the next one would be Debbie. There's nothing in the forecast to say that we're going to get anything quite as severe as we've seen over the last 36 hours. It's a bit more of just an unsettled picture up until the middle of November, and then it's turning colder. So wrap up and take a brolly with you on bonfire night tonight, just in case, and dodge the showers.
Right. OK, and sort of like if you're celebrating tomorrow night, I think tomorrow night's going to be a bit better.
Yes, tomorrow night should be better. The unsettled weather will have cleared. The Met Office weather warning that is in place now will have expired by then. They may well issue another one if something crops up in that time. These weather warnings are cropping up very, very quickly and sporadically. So keep an eye on it. As I said, we're in an unsettled period of weather, so it's always worth looking at the forecast and seeing where your region is going to be wet or windy.
How much warning do you get in general with these storms? So you notice, you said that Ciarán suddenly got a sort of like a turbocharge, basically.
Yes, it did.
So, but how much warning do we genuinely get? I mean, if it's sort of like, people, certainly in the West Country, we're talking to people in Jersey and Guernsey yesterday, who have really suffered. You see some horrific pictures. Still not looking that calm now. But how much warning do we get of these storms? Right,
now, Storm Ciarán underwent explosive cyclogenesis, which was the rapid intensity. I love it. It's also called a weather bomb or a bomb cyclone. That's a good
one.
Yeah,
like that one.
That happened on Tuesday, and we saw the effects of the storm on Wednesday and Thursday, so it happens very rapidly. Now, modern Met Office technology and forecasting technology is very good. We can spot these things coming, but we don't know how intense they're going to be sometimes until really at the last minute. But it's worth pointing out that this storm tracked further to the south, and it really unleashed most of its fury across northern France and the Channel Islands. Had it been slightly to the north of that, we would have got more of an impact in the UK. So we actually dodged it a little bit.
Right.
But in terms of how easy they are to predict, we can see low pressure systems coming in, and that's what meteorologists, that's what the Met Office are always looking at. But this sort of rapid intensification is something that's catching us by surprise quite a bit, recently.
Why why in this country, we're British after all,
we are.
talk about the weather a lot, why are we always caught, we seem to be caught out, the government seems to be caught out, local authorities seem to be caught out when, you know, we know these storms are coming?
Yeah, I think we are just, we just love, I think we love to be caught out. We always complain about the weather and we are never prepared for the weather.
No.
Be it summer heat waves, be it winter snow, be it rain, which will disrupt the railway lines. We are never, ever prepared for it. And I think that's part of our British charm. We complain about the weather all the time and we're never ready for it. I don't know why we're not ready for it, because in Sweden and Scandinavia, they get far worse winters than we do, and they seem to run seamlessly. We get a flicker of snow in November and everything grinds to a halt.
We grind to a halt. It's a cliche, but it's true, isn't it?
It's
On one
true.
leaf
So,
on the line.
who knows?
In our local tube, it's a tube station underground. We've got warning signs up saying, you know, leaves on the line.
Yeah.
It's underground.
Well, if the leaves come in from the west, it's the wrong sort.
Right, wrong kind of leaf.
That's what it is.
Right, OK, I'm going to ask you to cheer me up now, Nathan. OK,
I know where you're going with
brace
this.
yourself. Christmas.
Yeah.
It is literally just round the corner. Is it going to be a white one?
Well, luckily, I'm in a position where it's 2 months away, so I can pretty much say what I like, and then when it comes round, I can get away with it.
Just make it feel better.
However, I won't do that. Now, it's 2 months away, and with any certainty, I always say 5 to 10 days is when you can tell the weather.
Right.
However, I've done a little bit of snow digging to see what we can get. Now, according to the Met Office 3-month forecast, and this gives us a sort of an indication of whether we'll be in a chance for it, there's a 15% chance of it being colder between now and January.
OK.
A 20% chance of it being milder between now and January,
right,
and a 65% chance of it being average.
Oh.
So it's likely to be average. Now, Ladbrokes, I asked them about a white Christmas, a 6 to 1 chance in London, which I believe is about 14%. So take that and do whatever you will with it.
Right.
The honest answer is too early to tell.
Right, OK. Well, you're not really helping there, are you? But the general advice for bonfire weekend, for everyone going out and trying to have a good time, is take your brolly.
Yeah.
Take your wellies.
Yeah.
Possibly thermals, or is it going to be quite warm?
A little bit colder than average, about 14, 11. I mean, not really cold. It's not a chiller. A little bit lower temperatures than average. But I think, you know, take a coat, take a brolly, be prepared for some rain, and have some fun.
Right. Well, that's what it's about, is this? That's great. That's Nathan Rao. Thank you very much for joining us today, talking all things weather.